Good morning and welcome to the October Menudo Club gathering. The elections are upon us, and today we present to you a candidate forum in order to help you gather more information and make those important decisions and inquiries before you cast your votes. On behalf of our club hosts, Andy Valadez, Carmen Cavazos, and myself, we are overwhelmed and overjoyed that so many of you care enough about our community to join us here on this beautiful Saturday morning. Here at the Saturday Menudo Club, we want to continue to remind each and every one of you that it is time for major changes. And that is why we are here, so that we can find ways to improve ourselves and our community through networking and new partnerships. What is up in our community? An innocent woman killed in a car crash with a stolen truck during a high-speed police chase. A man was shot last night when someone shot into a metro bus downtown, which turned out to be a teenager. A teen was assaulting people in Wortham Park for no reason at all, and then posting the assaults on social media. And may I add that no charges have been filed, even though there's video of this person assaulting people in Wortham Park. Three robbers are on the run after robbing two stores in the Magnum 290 area. Last week, City Hall was rejoicing over the falling crime rates, which only those at City Hall seem to believe. The rest of us are left out on these dangerous Houston streets, praying not to fall victims. On this last weekend for early voting, we want you to hear the character of one of our leading mayoral candidates, who I will not name.
And I don't have the information. Nobody can give me the information. I need to ensure my schedule. And if Google did it, Shit did it, Fuckface did it. And nobody knows what goddamn thing in my office. There's nothing. I gave it to you. Your job was to get it on the calendar, and put it in your brain, or send me the information back saying, Congresswoman, I made sure that the 059 calendar that you gave me for so-and-so day at 7 is on the fucking calendar. Now to hold your own action. Okay? So when I call Jerome, he don't sit up there like a fat ass, stupid idiot, talking about what the fuck he doesn't know. Okay? Both y'all are fucking like a fucking ass. It's the worst shit that I could ever have put together. So goddamn big ass children. Fucking idiot. Serve no goddamn purpose. They ain't managing nobody, nobody respecting them, nobody giving a shit about what you're doing. They gave you a so this is an example of it. I gave it to you. This is not child work. Okay?
Why the recording of this filthy tirade has not gone viral in Houston and Washington is beyond me, and please keep in mind that many Houstonians have already voted. Ya no más. The voice you heard is this far from being our next mayor. Just think about that when you go home today. And if you think that there's nothing that you can do about it, yes, there is something you can do about it. You can help make this recording go viral. If the media won't do it, then it's up to us. Not all news is bad dear Menudoers. The Texas House this week passed sweeping immigration enforcement legislation early Thursday morning following hours of tense and emotional debate. SB 4 increases the minimum sentence from 2 years to 10 years for smuggling illegal immigrants or operating a stash house. HB 6 appropriates $1.5 billion to fund Governor Abbott's efforts to build border barriers among different parts of the 1,200-mile border. It is very important, again, that we support all of this. Some of you saw my interview on Telemundo concerning the new bills that were passed. And, of course, we anticipate a lot of blowback, even though these bills are going to be law. So there are many things that people are worried about. And to tell you the truth, it's just like I tell people that call me with their concerns, I tell them, yes, you have every right to be concerned. Because if you've been hiding illegal aliens in this country, it's breaking the law. So you're not going to get any sympathy from me. And I always tell people, you know, my mother was born in Mexico. She came here to the United States, like everybody else, searching for a better life. She was able to come here. She was able to have her children here. Thank God I was born here and my brothers and sisters. We all have wonderful lives here in the United States. But the thing is that my mother did it the right way. And years ago, actually this is before I was born, my older siblings, there was a time when my mother had been told that she needed to return to Mexico for a time. As she was trying to get the process done of being here legally. So what did my mother do with her children that were born in the United States when this happened? She took my siblings with her to Mexico. And it was that simple. There was no breakup of our family. My mother and father did not desert the kids. Nobody had to stay here or whatever. Everybody just packed up and went to Mexico until she served her time, and then she was allowed to come back here. She's, been a citizen of the United States for over 50 years. She died 2 years ago at 97. Very happy. And I also want you to know that the other thing is that I'm a big promoter of my Hispanic Mexican heritage here in the cultural arts for many years. I'm fascinated by my heritage in Mexico. However, my mother raised us as proud Americans. So in my household, it was American first and then Mexican culture. And we have been able to do both of those things. But again, that's the problem. You all have to be armed with these new bills as to how you're going to answer people, because it's very common that, one of the things that they're telling us now is, they're going to stop us on our way to church. They're going to arrest us if we're going to church or whatever. Again, like I said, tell them, yes, be afraid, because if you're harboring an illegal, okay, that's a crime. Okay, and we need to stop it. The other thing is, remember that there are no raids coming up at big factories or construction sites or churches or anything like that, because ICE is still under the authority of the government of the United States and still does what the president asks them to do, which is absolutely nothing. These bills just protect us here in Texas, and it's actually the local authorities, the sheriffs and the police, that will have that power if they stop someone, and there are illegals there, to then arrest them, and these people will be deported.
What's the bill number again?
HB 4, and then the construction wall is HB 6. Yes.
I know that with the jail, because there was a program where they used to put those, and what we've seen in the jail over the years is that because of the bail reform and criminal justice type ideas. They're pretty desperate. And there are laws in the books where they're supposed to hold them. And it's kind of like they're not doing that. And not only on top of that, they're giving the free PR bond, or personal bond, to defendants who made a crime, and they don't put a hold on them.
Yes,
And
exactly.
for those that don't know, you can say who you are, your
Oh,
title.
I'm sorry. I'm at Harris County Bail Bondsman. I'm the president of our association. That's my board. So what I've done is, over the years, the criminal justice reform went into effect like in 17, which was pre-pandemic and pre-Harvey. It was already working its way. And we started seeing an uptick in people who were just being released on personal bonds. And then they jumped into felonies without any court order for that. O'Donnell was only supposed to affect misdemeanors. They took that in the court order and extended it to felonies without telling the public. And of course, they redefined nonviolent. So what you're seeing was a mix of illegals, undocumented, who were in the jails, and the sheriff was refusing to put holds, which is why guys like Linear are running to enforce what's already there.
Yes, and thank God for people like Glenn. Another thing that people are going to tell you is they're taking that argument of separating families. Again, the liberals are using that again. But what you need to come back to those people that tell you that is that they need to understand that the family was separated when the father left the country and came here, or the uncle or the cousin. When they left those countries to come here, that's when the family was separated, not when we catch them here and return them back. So we just need to tell these people, ya no mas, we're tired of it, and thank God that we live in Texas, because Texas is doing things about this. Thank God for our governor. Thank God for the politicians that have passed these things. And again, I was on Telemundo this week discussing these bills, and I can't tell you the type of calls that you start getting about that. But I am very fortunate in the fact that I am Hispanic. My mother was born in Mexico. So, there's not really much that they can criticize there, like I said. But that's also why they don't want to talk to me too much, because I tell them how my mother did it the right way. And they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear anybody here that did it the appropriate way. Okay, because that's not what they want. Okay, at this time we're going to go ahead with our forum. And I'd like to present these candidates back to back and give them a few minutes to introduce themselves and let you know what they're all about. And then we'll take one or two questions for each afterwards. Andrew, are you okay to go first?
Sure.
Okay, I'd like to present to you Andrew Alvarez, who is running for U.S. House 9. Mr. Alvarez.
Ya no mas, right? That's the term we're using, right? I see a lot of issues right now with Congress, really and truly on both sides. And what we heard just a few minutes ago on this speaker here from a current representative who is supposed to be representing a big portion of Houston, and she is running to quote-unquote represent the entire city of Houston. She's not running in my district for Congress. I'm running against a 20-year incumbent, but things like that, having these establishment reps on both sides is why I say Congress is broken. You'll hear me say that time and time again. And Houston, District 9, needs a fighter. Someone who's willing to go out there and go blow to blow with the Democrats, and even if the Republicans start trying to act up, as we've seen recently, we need that. So let me tell you a little bit about me as a fighter. This is my first public appearance since I spent 2 months in the hospital, literally fighting for my life. It got so bad that I was giving my ex-wife, the mother of my children, my life insurance policy information. That's how close I came. But I fought. God told me I was not done. He did not want me there yet. I've got a job to do here, and this is my job. We need someone that has that fortitude, that can go out there, that doesn't mind taking a hit to the chin or so, who's done that, and can bounce back for the right reasons. Things that are the right reasons right now. On the conservative federal side, because remember, I'm looking at the federal part of it. Border security, we all know that. I'm grateful for HB4 because Texas has taken a stand. For a little bit there, I didn't know the entirety of the bill till I started reading it, because it was touted as the Show Me Your Papers Act. It was touted as that, and I bid it for just a little bit. Reading into it, I know it's going to ultimately save lives. Save lives of Latinos coming over illegally, because how many people die in the deserts? How many people have we seen die in the back of an 18-wheeler? And because our federal government right now cannot do anything about it and will not do anything about it, Texas is taking a stand, so thank you for Texas. Other things on the federal level. Money. You know, Congress has the power of the purse string. So why are we spending so much money outside of the United States? Ukraine, how much have we sent there already? Billions, right? Israel, I love Israel, I will stand with Israel, but why are we sending practically our entire military out there right now? Defending Israel's borders when our borders are still being invaded. Now, again, like I said, Israel is an ally of ours. I understand that. You know, there's biblical reasons why I really love Israel. We need to take care of America first. And that's what I'm bringing here, is America first. My campaign has been really digital, because that's what I know. I know the marketing side of it. That's what I do for a living. And why I've chosen a federal election as opposed to something more local, something more municipal, is because the last 5 years I traveled the country. Literally 1 week I was in Cocoa Beach, Florida. The next week I was in Seattle, Washington. I've seen the effect of politics in Chicago, in Baltimore, in LA, in Houston. I've seen the effects of those, both federal, local. But then again, I've also seen, you know, little towns in Arkansas, the little towns in New York, right? You know, Albany, New York, which is totally different than New York City. The people are happy there. The people are happy, and they all believe in and are practicing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. My job as a federal agent would be to stand with the likes of Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Troy Nehls, my good friend Michael Cloud, who represents the 27th District right down in my hometown of Victoria. That's where I was born and raised. I moved here about 15 years ago. That's going to be my job, is to stand with them, to fight with them, to make sure all Americans can have the simple things in life if they want, or if they want to pursue and become rich. You know, by golly, let capitalism take over. Let them have that opportunity. And the way you can help out, just spread the word. Visit my website, aaforcongress.com. Every Thursday on my Facebook, just search up Andrew Alvarez for Congress. I go live, 6:30, just, you know, random question and answers. If you have questions, send it to me. I'll answer those. I'll give some commentary on those. But it's about engagement, because somebody made a comment here just today. I believe it was, I can't remember, I can't see where she is, but back in the back, I'm sorry, that the districts have the potential to turn red, SD 9 specifically. It is my belief, my core belief, that the majority of the area has the opportunity to turn red. And I'm not talking about red Republican, I'm talking about red conservative. Red, let you live your life the way you want to live your life. But what we have to do as a people, as those fighting for the greater good, we got to get out there. We got to knock on some doors. Tell your friends, send text messages, make some phone calls. I can only do so much by myself, And I will do everything I can by myself. If I need to, I'll run this whole campaign by myself, just me and my treasurer, because I understand some of you all are busy. I get that. But we need to band together. It takes 5 minutes to send 5 text messages. It takes 2 seconds to share a website. Go visit website aa4congress.com. Look up Andrew Alvarez for Congress on Facebook. Any other platform out there, I'm on there as well. I'll be live every Thursday, 6:30. Look forward to meeting more with y'all. You know, let us get this campaign kicked back off. You know, I'm ready to fight some more, even if that means me taking some blows on the chin. I'm ready to fight for y'all. Thank you.
This time, I would like to present another dear friend of the Saturday Menudo Club that is running to be your next Harris County Sheriff, Mr. Glenn Cohn.
Yeah, I know. I definitely don't want to trip on Eduardo. Yeah, my name is Glenn Cohn. I run for Harris County Sheriff in 2024, and so I won't be on this ballot. I think it's important to remind everybody of that. I've had so many people confused. I was at the Sci-Fair Republican Women's fundraiser yesterday, and I was walking out, and I had it was a polling location also, and so I had my sign on there, Harris County Sheriff, and then this lady said, "What happened?" She said, "I didn't get to vote for the sheriff." I was like, "No, we're not on this ballot." So she was freaking out. But so I'm with HPD, and I've been there for 15 years, where I'm a sergeant. I have hostage negotiation experience. I was a field trainer, meaning that I trained rookie officers. I was also worked in our command center, negotiating critical incidents and getting the right resources, everything from downed aircraft to officer-involved shootings, and I've also managed those crises on the street as a patrol officer, as a patrol sergeant. And also, I'm currently getting my PhD in criminal justice. I helped Chicago Police Department with their promotional process and picking sergeants. And also, I am a former minister, pastor, and I've been married for 25 years with 15, soon to be 15-year-old triplets. So we're plenty busy. So, you know, usually what I've been saying is my take on Harris County criminal justice and the things that we want to do to improve the jail, get the crime under control. But the other thing that's happened here in the last couple of weeks, as you know, is the Middle East crisis, right? And with my experience and on the street and in my studies, in the course of my studies and papers that I've written and research that I've done, my partners that are involved with NGOs and former federal officers, I'm well averse to the topics of terrorism, especially in the Middle East. I don't want to be negative, but we have that coming across our border. It started before the Israeli conflict. And so there's a lot of this coming into the Houston-Harris County area. It's something that we need to be aware of. And we need a sheriff, we need a leader that's going to take that by the horns and is going to address it directly. I believe that I'm the only candidate running on both sides that can effectively address that. You're okay, go ahead. We're laid back here. I think I'm the only candidate that can really address that effectively and manage that crisis. It's going to become more of a problem. A lot of people don't realize is that the Houston-Harris County region is a hub for transnational organized crime, and it has been that way for decades. It's not a new problem, but it has been getting increasingly worse. We're seeing it come in through the I-10 corridor, especially, and a lot of the other major interstates, obviously. I had a sheriff friend of mine tell me that their interdiction efforts are being circumvented, and they're having to constantly reroute the way they interdict the transnational groups that are trying to traffic drugs and people and everything else into our city. I've got 2 sheriffs down on the border right now, gave me a personal invitation. I have a former federal agent who's a friend of mine. He says, "I'd like to represent you down there and talk to some people." He called me back and he said, "These sheriffs want you to come down on the border, and they want to show you what's going on down there. So we're going to be doing that probably the first part of December, and I would appreciate your prayers and your support. When anyone says they're praying for me, I don't take that lightly. To me, that's the same thing as a gold nugget. I mean, it means a lot. I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of Jesus Christ to heal our nation, our county, our city, and covet your prayers. So GlennCowanForSheriff.com, and I appreciate your prayers and support. God bless all of you. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm retired Lieutenant Colonel Roy Morales, and I want to thank everybody this morning at the Saturday Menudo Club. It's very important that we get out to vote. We haven't had an Hispanic at City Council at large since Orlando Sanchez from the early 2000s. Now's our opportunity. We have to get out and vote. I am running against the incumbent that tried to defund the police. It's not going to happen on my watch. We've got to make sure we have more police officers. We've got to make sure they have the technology and protective gear that they need to protect themselves and our communities. I'm retired Lieutenant Colonel Roy Morales, served our country for over 23 years, asking for your vote. Election day is on November 7th. Early vote is ongoing now, and it ends on November 3rd. Thank you, and vote Roy Morales for City Council at Large, Position 4.
Special guest, who is one of our mayoral candidates, Mr. Jack Christie.
Standing ovation. Okay. Okay.
And
Saving the best for the last.
And you missed
like the wedding.
All right.
and both of you missed Sheila's speech a little while ago.
No, I heard it once. Oh, yeah, you were here.
We didn't miss anything. Yeah. I'm Jack Christie. I'm running for mayor, and I served on the Spring Branch School Board, and we were picked the #1 school board in the state of Texas when I was president of that board. And I moved to the State Board of Education, to where I shared half of Harris County with Dr. Alma Allen. We represented Harris County at the State Board of Education, overseeing 5.2 million public school students. Took 10 years off to raise kids. None of them are in jail, no felony convictions, and life is good. Until I saw an opening at City Council to take out a very liberal incumbent. So I've served 3 terms at City Council at large, so this is my area also. Actually, when I was about 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I worked at the Alameda Mall to help pay for school at San Jacinto College for pre-med and chiropractic college, all down College Street. So this is my old neighborhood. So in those 3 offices, City Council for 8 years, I had perfect attendance. So I'd take my jobs of public service serious. My motto was, I'm a workhorse, not a show horse. So I didn't do many antics at City Hall. Served with 2 mayors, 2 very good mayors in different categories. I would always look at the good that they do, not the mistakes that they make. And I think in a Christie administration, it would be a friendlier administration, be more honest, more transparent, and I guarantee you it'll have a balanced checkbook within 3 or 4 years. It's been imbalanced for decades, and I've been good at balancing checkbooks, simply not spending more money than you take in. It's very simple philosophy. So I enjoy that. So I saw an avenue to give an alternative to liberal spending policies and not hiring 100% ethical, honest employees. So I saw an avenue to give more public service. I didn't need a job. I'm debt-free. My kids are happy. They've got good jobs and college paid for and such. But I saw a need that the city needs a better direction.
maybe not totally turn around, because there's some things that have been done right. So I'm running for mayor. We signed up probably 90 days ago. So I don't have $9 million in the bank, but I have relationships. And that's all over the city, at large, State Board of Education. And people remember that I helped Habitat for Humanity, or a Fifth Ward ice skating party I did for 35 years. So I didn't do it to be elected to anything. I help people paint their houses and mow their yards and pull their weeds in school districts, some of the campuses. So I'm a workhorse, and I ask for your vote. It's going to be low voter turnout, so everybody in here, you bring 10 people, and that's 100 votes. There may be a 100 vote margin between first, second, and third place. So
I'll be first.
yeah, well, that's why I'm staying friends with you, Mayor Martinez. We may end up doing a dual mayorship. Who knows? Hey, thank y'all for taking time and not getting nauseated while you eat from a political speech.
Moving right along, I'd like to do a little drawing here. So, everybody get their little white tickets out, the little yellow tickets out, please. Andy, could you?
Do the honors.
I probably can't either.
Like the Willy Wonka.
Okay, the last numbers are, I don't know, I think is that a 6 or 5?
Last number 74.
674.
674. Oh my goodness. Andy, can you hold this for a minute? Can you hold that so it doesn't slide down? I'm gonna get his gift. Yeah. I got you something. Do you get this? And for future reference, I didn't go through a lot of the rules because we started a little late. But anyone who wants to bring anything that they do in the community, like Mary Kay or whatever, they're welcomed here. They can bring their stuff and we'll set them up in the back. But we welcome everybody here, okay? And did you need to say something?
No, I'm
okay.
taking a picture. I think I'm all topped out already. It's been a long week.
At this time, I would like to welcome one of our conservative candidates for mayor, Mr. Julian Martinez. Senor Julian Martinez. Let me get this on you. There you go. You gotta hold this too.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me here. I remember when I came the first time, I was nervous. It was my first one. Anyway. So anyway, I am the friendly mayor. I'm happy. I love people, and especially children. We went to another forum before this for children's. It was very low turnout. I was surprised that people don't show interest in that. But anyway, my name is Julian Martinez. I'm running for mayor. I've been in business for 38 years. I've been married for 46 years, actually. I had 3 children. My children, because I work very hard, I was able to pay them to private school. They went to private school, and from that they went to UT University, A&M, engineering. I always did the best for my family. So now I want to do the best for Houston. I'm running because I am vetted. I've been serving the community for 38 years, and I see the need of the people, especially crime, pothole. I see some people that they go there they busted tires Monday morning, tire on the rim. I met a lady. She does high shot. Said, Julian, I was driving my truck. I make $150 a day. I hit a pothole. It cost me $500 a day. Plus, I lost 2 days of work. So that needs to stop. I was thinking that the city of Houston should pay people when they have busted rim and tires, because it's not their fault. So that would be a good incentive for the city of Houston to get it together. I'm running because I've been traveling Houston especially the east side, Sunnyside, Pleasantville, and it looks like it's two cities. The southwest is look like rich people live. The east side is like 40 years behind. And we all American. We all love Jesus, we all love God, we go to church, but yet the politicians, they don't serve out well. Like Sheila Jackson, she's been in power for 28 years. And now she rebranded herself, the mayor of Houston. Mitty Whitmire has been in power for 50 years. And all of a sudden he sees the pothole and the crime. Where he's been all this time? In La La Land? I imagine that. So basically, I'm running because I'm a businessman. I work hard. I work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, since I started my business. Now I'm 68 years old and I haven't slowed down yet. And I never will. And so myself, I'm very fortunate to be married to my wife. She's my support. And myself, I'm very help the community. For example, in India, I have an orphanage since '95 that I support 30 kids. We support them every month, and also we have a Bible college school. We make young people, female and male, become pastors, and then they go to the community. I've been doing that since '94. Also, since '07, I've been supporting the Jewish people. The name of the company is Christians and Jews United. What they do, all those people that stayed behind in the Soviet Union when they broke down, the old people, they couldn't come to Jerusalem. So now we sponsor them a ticket for them to fly back to Jerusalem. Number 3, I'm also tied at my church. I have a lot of, in my country, I have also another outreach, and also in local. So basically, I'm running because the city of Houston needs somebody like me that love people, love God. Houston needs somebody with family value, strong family value. That's the reason why. And one more thing also, if you notice in Detroit, Michigan, it's been run for 50 years, Democrat Party. They went broke. Houston for 45 years now, they're going broke next year. So now they saying that this is the most important election in Houston history since 55. Guess who won 55? I did. So basically everything is likely to be your next mayor, because God knows that if I become your mayor, I'm going to serve the people, not me. I'm not looking for money, because I make a lot of money. I mean, when you work 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, your own business, you can make a lot. My father used to tell me, my father used to work in New York with a grocery store. He said, Julian, I love the grocery store. The only problem is you don't have time to spend the money. You only save it. You work 7 days a week, right? So the same thing. My father was a mentor. The other day, some guy came to my shop, Julian, I found out you have a lot of property. Why? Well, my father in 1980. So I came in 1980 and I bought my first house. I still have it. I've been milking the house for 25 years, every month, $1,500 a month. So I tell everybody, if you want to create wealth, you have to buy real estate. You get 10% automatically, you don't lose it. So also, the reason why they're talking about affordable housing, the reason why they cannot afford it is the young people, because they don't have a good job. In my industry, technician, body man, carpenter, plumber, electrician. There's so much job for that. Plumber, you can make $80,000 a year if you do the job. The problem is you have to go HCC for 2 years after you graduate. So I don't have a plan for the Houston area. What I'm going to have is when you go to the 10th grade for 2 years, we're going to bus you to a service center. We're going to bus you to a service center, and we're going to train you on what you like, male, female. If you want to be a carpenter, and then I'm going to find companies that will give you internship while you off school. So that way, when you finish high school, guess what? You have a job at 18. That's how you bring people from poverty, by having good education. My kid, I only went to high school and trade school, and I pay a lot of taxes, you know. Because I told my kids, son, it's not what you have, it's what you can do with it. I had 2 kids, they went to A&M and UT, and they graduated from mechanical engineering. They hired them, making $120,000 a year, ExxonMobil. Imagine that. That's not because they're Spanish or whatever, it's because they went to school. So I want everyone to listen. I am the real deal. If you elect me as a mayor, I'm going to use Tad Chris to help me too. Because it's a team effort. No, it's not about myself. You know, they say Ronald Reagan was a good leader. We had good people around him. I'll be the same thing. So I want to bring to Houston loyalty. Number 2, honest. I want to make sure that your money gets spent and the project they are assigned to. Especially, I heard that every district get $24 million a year to spend. Look at Sunnyside, 5th Ward. It looks like a third country. And we live in America. We need to stop that. We need to be more compassionate with people. You know, at the end of the day, we're all going to die. We need to stay here. So I'm doing it because I love my kid, I love my neighbor, I love my family, and I love everybody the same. And I want to serve with all my passion and all my energy, because life is too short. We need to stop picking winner and loser. We need to get somebody in office that do the people work. My name is Julian Antonio Martinez, and I'm going to be your next mayor of Houston.
I just wanted you to know that I think I can sell a lot of cars. So, you know, I would love to work for you. I can probably start selling cars in here to some people. Anybody need a new car? I'll get you a good deal because I know the owner.
They will charge you overtime. They will like to see. That's the one we need to pray this year.
Did I miss anybody? No, I can't miss anybody. No, yes, but go ahead, niece. Well, I mean, that was very enlightening, but just to add some afterthoughts of things that we discuss here at the Menudo Club, and when I say we, I'm talking about my co-hosts, Carmen Cavazos and Andy Valadez. We're constantly discussing the issues that happen in our community, what we see going on, and what changes possibly can happen. But I do want you to consider several things as you're looking at these important elections that are coming up. One of the things that I have for many years, since I was the chairman of the Republican National Hispanic Assembly, which I served for 11 years here in Harris County, I want you to know that that was over, we're talking about 25 years ago. It was during the time when Jared was the president of the GOP here. We both served at the same time. But I want you to know that looking back at the elections, especially the mayoral election of, say, 25 years ago, we had potholes then. We had crime then. Back when I was chairman, 25 years ago, that's what was discussed at my RNHA meetings, was the crime and the potholes, okay? And 25 years later, we're having the same discussions. So what I'm trying to tell you is that this is something that gets discussed. It's just recycled stuff. And to this day, there has been no one that has won telling us that they're going to fix the streets and stuff that has actually done it. So please be considerate. And so you wonder, how do you figure out who's going to do good and who's going to do wrong, or who's going to do nothing? And I will tell you, and this would apply to the politicians that have been here for many years. Many of the people that running I've known for 20, 30 years, including Sheila Jackson Lee. But I want you to know that if someone truly wanted to do something for our community, okay? They don't have to be crowned mayor to actually do it. particularly people that are wealthy, that suddenly decide to run for mayor, and now they're going to fix the streets. Well, where were they 10 years ago when they're making millions of dollars? They want to fix the potholes. They could have done it without being crowned mayor. So it's like a bribery with these older politicians. They're like, vote for me and I'm going to fix the streets. No, you should have already done that. Okay, you don't need that title. You just need to be a concerned person in the community to make things happen. So please consider that. And again, we have a lot of new and upcoming people like Julian, who is running for mayor, that is not a lifelong politician. He's just a businessman. So, we just have to decide, maybe we should give other people a chance. But again, we here at the Menudo Club are not here to tell you who to vote for and who not to vote for, because I've never believed that. Even when I did the RNHA, I never only, at my RNHA meetings 25 years ago, I always invited candidates from both sides to speak. I was heavily criticized by the GOP for doing that because they didn't want me to invite Democratic candidates to my meetings, but I did. And actually, when Anise Parker was elected mayor, we actually had the honor, and I do consider it an honor, but the Republican National Hispanic Assembly at that time, the first appearance that Anise Parker made when she won mayor, she crashed my RNHA Christmas party. And it just shows the bonds that can be built there between both sides. And I'll have you know that, I had about 150 people there. And when I announced, Mayor Parker is coming to our party, I mean, everybody's eyes just opened like, what is the Democratic mayor doing here? But she was just showing her appreciation for what I was doing, which was, having candidates from both sides. Because one of the things that I truly believe in is that if a Democrat wins or a Republican wins, they're still our mayor, and I'm still going to need to be connected to that office. So, if I'm heavily Republican and a Democrat wins, that doesn't mean that I'm just going to exclude myself from City Hall until another person comes in. No, because things don't get done. It just means that somehow we have to work with these people. But at the same time, it is so important, again, here in the city of Houston, with what has happened with one of our candidates that did that tirade. That is absolutely unacceptable. It shows the person's character. It shows an arrogance. It shows so many things. And I'm going to tell you that part of the problem with this person, who I will not mention, is I think that corona on her head is just really getting to her. So, we have just a few minutes. Does anybody have any issues that they want to talk about? And let me start this. It can be anything, but I want to just make y'all aware of something that I haven't talked to my partners yet, but it is something that I wanted to talk about in an upcoming meeting. When I was driving in Houston since the early 70s, I know that one of the big problems that we used to have on our freeways were the 18-wheelers. And for many years, I know they had passed rulings and stuff about, it got to the point where it hadn't been a problem anymore because they weren't allowed to drive on Interstate 10 or whatever during business hours. Okay, that has changed. So everybody needs to be aware of that. Not only I'm going down 59 and there are 18-wheelers everywhere at 12 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, going over the speed limit. They're even on the feeder roads. Okay? So be aware of that. Be aware of that and tell your leaders. That has to stop because we're all in danger with these crazy people. There's enough crazy people as it is. But if I'm going to have a wreck, I'd rather it not be with two 18-wheelers. But something has changed, and you people, particularly you that are running for office, look into that. Okay, ma'am?
Real quick, I just want to speak from here.
Because the biggest mistake that the GOP continues making is that they don't go after the Hispanic vote. But unfortunately, what you have to realize is the Democrats don't have the Hispanic vote either. Neither one of us have the Hispanic vote. So it's stupid for the GOP to just sit here and ignore the Hispanic vote because they say that Hispanics don't vote. Because once the Democrats get the Hispanic vote, it is over. It is over here because we are the majority. And you need to tell your leadership. I have talked with Carmen many times, telling her some of the, when I was in chairman 25 years ago, some of the same people are still there at the office of the GOP. And I told her, I said, that needs to change. Those people need to be cleaned out. Because what have they done in all these years but let City Hall become liberal? We don't have conservative leadership there. So why are these people still there? A big applause for our third co-host, Mr. Andy Valadez, who's behind the scenes, but he records everything. He does wonderful videos. He controls our website. He just does so many things. And one of these days, he will talk to y'all. But for now, here's Carmen. And thank you very much for coming.
Again, thank you. I wear a lot of hats. You want me to put it on? Is that good? Okay. I wear a lot of hats. I too have sat on the engagement committee, so I'll be picking your brain in just a moment. I'm also Julian Martinez's campaign manager. In general, I've worked elections for Harris County. I was their deputy director. I was also the regional director for the state party here in Texas. And what I see is this election for the mayoral race is extremely crucial right now. And I mean that because the direction that Houston is going in, we need a sensible, conservative individual that is going to pull us back from the brink that we're on right now. We have issues that other mayor candidates that are liberal won't touch on. We have the sex trafficking issue. Mr. Martinez's, our campaign office is off of Richmond Avenue. It is one of the hottest spots in Houston for human trafficking. You have illegal gambling, you have prostitution, you have homelessness. These are all issues that other candidates avoid. I know when Mr. Martinez and Mr. Jack Christie are out in the campaign trail, these are topics that they touch on. But there's 17 candidates, and the majority of them will not even address the issues. These are real issues that us as voters and citizens have to bring to light. We have to hold people accountable in offices of power and leadership. I urge y'all, go out, tell 5, 10, 20 people, hey, go vote. Early voting is still until November the 3rd. Election day is November the 7th. Get the message out. We have to bring people in to vote. Extremely crucial. Another hot topic that I wanted to discuss is our elections. Our general election is coming up as well. I don't know what the party is doing, but there's a lot of candidates like Glenn, Mr. Alvarez, that will be on the ballot next year. Once this mayoral race is in the books, let's make sure we get behind conservative candidates. Let's help them. Take a weekend out of your month to block walk for them. You know, Mr. Martinez, I came into his campaign. We were small, very small group at first, and then we had people come out. Sherry, Meg, you know, just a couple hours a weekend makes a huge difference. And yes, Meg has been out. We've been out in Sunnyside. We've been out off of Martin Luther King. And people were hungry to hear about candidates. We're out there at 7 o'clock in the morning passing out information. And these parents that are dropping off their kids will stop and have a conversation. They will talk about how the sidewalks are non-existent for their kids to walk to school on, about the street lights. It's dark at 7 a.m. There's no street lights. These are all issues that the mayor can allocate funds to. So please, when you go vote, please make sure that you do your research on your candidate. Now, I'm going to sound biased because I'm his campaign manager, but we've addressed these issues. We've gone back and we've looked at the agenda items that have been listed that are discussions at City Hall for the past year. I was at City Hall a couple weeks ago. The first hour and a half was patting themselves on the back each council member and the mayor talking about how good of a job it's been. And I stood up there and I said, outside of these four walls, there's crime, there's murder, there's all kinds of neglect, and y'all were in here patting each other in the back. There was 422 murders in 2022. 422, is that about right, Mario? 435, even higher.
36 murders a month, 9 murders a week.
I mean, how out of control is that? Julian's customer came in the other day and said they went to the bank to get money to fix their vehicle, stopped at the grocery store, came out, the money was gone, his vehicle was vandalized. Glenn, I know that you're running for county sheriff. These are all issues that these candidates now are going to tackle and address. Please go out, vote, let your fellow neighbors, family members, get them informed. Let them know these are crucial times. Our mayoral race, city council, and up next would be positions like Glenn, positions like Mr. Alvarez. That's all I have to say. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for coming.
1, 2, 3.
¡Ya no más!